Friends and breakout stars Victoria Mboko and Alex Eala dueled for their first WTA Tour level meeting, and it was one to remember. I'll analyze that nail-biting affair in Hong Kong and look ahead to the Paris quarterfinals, where Ben Shelton might possibly have a solid shot at taking down Jannik Sinner. Bonjour, je m'appelle Christian Bassnight, and welcome to Christian's Court, where I cover tennis from all angles. If you have not yet already, make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell so you are notified whenever I post more Paris content. So before I get into the Paris action, I want to highlight the ongoing WTA Asian swing, and for that I will pass it on to Christian from the past. Christian from the past? Thank you, Christian from the future. The big marquee WTA matchup in Asia was undoubtedly Victoria Mboko and Alex Eala's Hong Kong round of 16 showdown, and it did not disappoint. We witnessed what I hope is the start to an exciting new rivalry on the women's tour when Mboko defeated Eala 3-6, 6-3, 6-4. Eala started this match very well. She was strong from all aspects of her game, really. She was efficient on her serve, winning quite a few easy points, although some of that was due to Mboko needing a little bit of extra time to adjust to that lefty Eala serve. And Alex was also aggressive from the ground and came forward whenever she had the opportunity to do so, having a lot of success in the forecourt. And Eala also showcased that trademark defense and produced some exceptional shot making like we saw with this point. But Vicky locked in a little bit more on her return, and she upped her service level as well in the crucial moments, which definitely helped her level it at a set apiece. Eala had the stronger start in the deciding set, and she jumped out to a 4-1 lead. And I saw some people criticizing Eala, saying that she choked, but that's really not what happened at all. You got to give Mboko a lot of credit because she really stepped it up. Eala had a 30-15 look, leading 4-2 in the deciding set, but Mboko played a phenomenal game, hitting 3 winners in this 4-2 game alone to bring it back on serve. And it's not like really Alex's level dipped. She was still playing at that same high level, but Mboko again adjusted very well and started changing directions a bit more, which served her very well. And Eala, she did have a game point to lead 5-4, but Mboko came up with this exceptional down the line backhand return. Gotta give again credit to Vicky M also for her keeping her composure, as the crowd was heavily on Eala's side too. And I do think it was great to see all the Filipino fans in Hong Kong giving their support, and that's exactly what Mboko said as well, that she liked to see that too. But I do think Vicky's earlier success in Montreal helped her a lot here, and at the end she had a little bit more moxie. This was one of the most exciting matches that we've seen this season, and both women showcased tremendous athleticism and ball striking, and it was just awe-inspiring to watch. But maybe my favorite part of the match was after, and their embrace at the handshake at the net, and then they greeted each other and hugged each other when Eala was walking off the court. And Mboko said after the match it's never easy playing a friend, and that she's known Alex for such a long time, and that's what made it emotional for both of them. So it's also great to see that these two are good friends and they get along really well, and they still have that respect and admiration for each other after such an intense battle. And Alex is 20 years old, Vicky is 19, and I hope that we do see more exciting matchups from these two in the future. I hope it's not an Osaka Andreescu thing to where we have a potentially great rivalry for women's tennis and then it fizzles out into pretty much nothing. But there's just so many great young stars in the WTA, even aside from Mboko and Eala, just to name a few. You have Maya Joint, of course, Mira Andreeva, Iva Jovic, and yeah, women's tennis is in such a great place because you have players of all levels, all age groups, just doing their big ones. But focusing on Hong Kong, Mboko now faces off against 6th seed Anna Konskaya in her 3rd career WTA quarterfinal, and the top 2 seeds Belinda Bencic and Leylah Fernandez are still alive as well. They face Kristina Buxa and Sorana Cirstea, respectively. Meanwhile, in Jiangxi, American Alicia Park snapped her 8-match losing streak, and she is into her 6th tour quarterfinal, where she will face Russian Anna Blinkova. By the way, unless Alicia wins Jiangxi or Buxa wins Hong Kong, Alex will officially make her top 50 debut on Monday at number 50. Back to you, future Christian. Thank you, Christian from the past. So the Paris quarterfinals are set, and there are really 0 sneaks. All 8 guys are playing some great tennis right now. 2 of our quarterfinalists punched their tickets to the ATP finals as Alex Minaur and Ben Shelton took the 6th and 7th spots for Turin. Alex, he cruised by Karen Khachanov 6-2, 6-2, and he is into his 2nd straight ATP finals. Up next for the Aussie is Alexander Bublik, who earned a straight sets 7-6, 6-2 victory over Taylor Fritz, who had already already qualified the day prior. And Bublik, he honestly stole that first set, or at least kind of stole the first set from Fritz. This match really should have at least went to 3 sets because Taylor had 4 set point chances in the opener, although Alexander did serve well on some of those set points. But there were a few openings for Fritz, but he did not react to the Bublik drop shot the best, and his return kind of let him down. The second set was much more straightforward, and Taylor's serving level did dip a little, but credit to Bublik, who was returning just out of this world in this match. Fritz only won just a single second serve point in set number 2. Alexander has an outside shot at qualifying for the finals if he wins this title in Paris, and that really isn't too far-fetched with how well he's playing. It was a spectacular performance from Bublik in this round of 16 match, and really he's playing top 5 level tennis right now. The man from Kazakhstan finished with 34 winners to just 21 unforced errors. And Alex de Minaur, he leads the head-to-head with Bublik 3-1, although Bublik won their last match, which potentially turned Alexander's season around when he came back from 2-0 down against de Minaur at the Roland Garros second round this year. Meanwhile, looking at Ben Shelton, he defeated Andrei Rublev 7-6, 6-3 to qualify for his maiden ATP finals. This was definitely Shelton's best match, at least since he won Toronto. It might be his best match of the season, period. And it was phenomenal. He finished with 25 winners, 13 unforced errors, and also he showcased some impeccable serving. He won 79% of first serve points won, but even more impressively, he won 87% of his second serve points. I was also really impressed by Shelton's defense. He got so many balls, I thought he had little shot at retrieving back in play, and that opening set point forehand on the run winner was simply insane. With Fritz and Shelton both in the finals, this is the first time that we've had 2 Americans in the European Championships on the men's side since Andy Roddick and James Blake both qualified in 2006. Up next for Shelton is world number 2 and defending Turin champion Jannik Sinner in the quarterfinals after the Italian defeated Argentinian Francisco Cerundolo 7-5, 6-1. Sinner did not look that great in the opening set. He almost appeared sick, but once he got the opener under his belt, his level gradually rose. And Jannik, he's now reached the quarterfinals at all 9 1,000 tournaments. He also keeps his bid for the year-end world number 1 alive, but it's not going to get any easier for the Italian, of course, with Shelton next. Jannik still, though, despite those physical issues, on paper, will be a pretty big favorite against the American. He does have a lopsided head-to-head edge over Shelton 6-1. I still, though, think that Shelton has a legit shot at winning this match, and I honestly can see Shelton beating Sinner. Ben played very well, not only in that match against Rublev, but in his opening round win over Flavio Cobolli, and he is seemingly not fazed by the slower courts in Paris, and has been using his athleticism very well and been showing off that improved rally tolerance. Again, of course, there's potential health concerns with Jannik, and he was also grabbing at his left leg even midway through the second set of that Cerundolo match. Ben, though, has not won a set since he beat Jannik in their very first meeting, Shanghai 2023. And a big reason for this is him just not coming through in the tiebreaks. They've played a tiebreaker, Shelton and Sinner. They've played a tiebreak in all their matches, every single one, all 7. But Shelton has lost the last 6 tiebreakers. And there have been one tiebreak per match that they have played. There really isn't a wide gap between these two whenever they face off, but Jannik just knows how to raise his level another notch higher, especially in those crucial tiebreak moments. That's just the biggest thing for Shelton to overcome in this matchup. I think if Ben plays as good as he did against Rublev, he has a solid shot at taking down Jannik. I do think Ben will at least get a set. I anticipate Shelton performing better in the tight moments this time around, and I do think that he will have more looks also at breaking Sinner's serve this match, as Jannik, his serve has been okay this tournament, but also, of course, too, with the slower conditions, I think that gives Shelton a better shot at getting more returns back in play. But I am not sure if Shelton will be able to earn as many free or easy points on serve like he did against Rublev. I am very, very curious to see how this one plays out with the slower conditions, and I do think it's going to take more for Ben to win points against Jannik. Just thinking back to their last meeting on a slower hard court, it was Indian Wells 2024, and Shelton, he did well to push Jannik to an opening set tiebreak, but eventually he just could not match the level of Jannik, and he lost the second set 6-1. But Ben's rally tolerance has improved a lot since then. Also, one other thing I forgot to mention, after Ben lost to Jannik in the Wimbledon quarterfinals this year, he made some interesting comments about the Italian, essentially saying that Jannik's ball speed is so high that he isn't used to that type of ball speed consistently from the ground, and it's difficult for him to adjust to someone hitting the ball that big and consistent off both wings and serving the way that he is. So, I mean, that to me gives Shelton a better fighting chance, considering how Jannik's ball speed will be a little bit more neutralized with the slower Paris conditions. But definitely let me know what y'all think about that, and potentially how, if you agree, basically that could help Shelton in this matchup. Now, if I were to give a prediction, I don't know. I'm tired of doing the same old. And I just do think that this could be Shelton's time, especially again with Jannik maybe having some physical concerns. Of course, he did finish strong against Tonondolo, but I anticipate, especially if Shelton is able to at least get a set and drag this one out, he might not be able to last as long in this potential third set. So I'm tired of having the same old picks. I was initially going to be going with center here, but something in me is telling me that this might be Shelton's time. So I will be having Ben get the upset and win this one in 3 sets. I know I'm going to get a lot of backlash in the comments from the center fans, but that's my pick. I'm going to do something different there. But moving on, Felix Auger-Aliassime, he is definitely still in the hunt for that final 8th spot in Turin. He earned another come-from-behind victory, but this time he defeated German Daniel Altmaier 3-6, 6-3, 6-2. Up next for Auger-Aliassime is Valentin Vachereau, who is really on a hot streak right now. He earned his 10th 1,000 victory in a row after taking down Cam Norrie, who beat Carlos Alcaraz. Vachereau beat the Brit 7-6, 6-4. This is going to be, of course, an important match for Felix, as if he reaches the final in Paris, ultimately, he will overtake Lorenzo Musetti for that 8th spot in the ATP Live Race to Turin. I see this one going 3 sets regardless, and I think it will be a tough one for FAA. Valentin is playing, again, top 10 level tennis. Felix, though, he literally is in the top 10. So I see this one being a tight one. I think it will go the distance, but I'm going to be having the man from Monaco continue his hot streak at the 1,000 level and earn his 11th 1,000 win in a row. Dino Medvedev also has an outside shot at qualifying for the ATP Finals, and he earned a dramatic 3-6, 7-6, 6-4 victory over Lorenzo Sonego. And really made this one a little bit more complicated than what it needed to be, as he led 4-1 in the second set. But credit to Medvedev, he did a great job at saving 3 break points at 5-all, because if he had lost that 5-all game, it could have been a wrap for him for sure. Shout out to Sam Jacot also for this stat, but this marks Medvedev's 13th quarterfinal of the season this year. Only Alcaraz has as many quarterfinal appearances in 2025, as Carlitos also has made 13 quarterfinals this year. The difference, though, is that Medvedev has not been as successful at this quarterfinal level, comparing it to Carlos, as the Russian is 6-6. He will look to improve to 7-6 in Paris when he takes on good nemesis Alexander Zverev, who took down Alejandro Davidovich Fokina 6-2, 6-4. On paper, this looks like a pretty convincing win for Zverev, but things were definitely pretty complicated in this match, and it for sure could have been much more competitive if Davidovich Fokina had been more opportunistic in those crucial moments and those crucial points. But anyways, this will be their 22nd tour level meeting, and Dino leads the head-to-head 14-7. But Medvedev also has won their last 5 matches, although pretty much all of those last 5 matches were on faster courts, which obviously I think would favor Medvedev a little bit more. Paris, of course, is playing very slow this season, so you could argue that Zverev would have maybe a little bit more of an edge there, not to mention he is the reigning defending champion. It's going to be another tough one for me to call, but, I did have Zverev making the final before the tournament started, so I guess I'm going to have him keep winning, at least for now. I'm going to be putting him through to the semifinals. So it's Zverev in 3. So going over my semifinal predictions, I have Vachereau, Bublik, and then Shelton, Zverev. We'll see how many I got right there. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if I go 0 for 4. But that is all I have for this update video, and let me know your thoughts on the impending maybe Mboko Eala rivalry, as well as give your own picks and predictions for the quarterfinal results in Paris. And if you agree with me and think that it's not too far-fetched in having Shelton do his big one and take down Jannik Sinner. Again, make sure you all subscribe and click that notification bell so you are notified whenever I post my Paris semifinal preview video as well. Thank you all so much again for watching and for your continued support, and I will see you all next time here on Christian's Court.